especially for students at Hull High. We appreciate that very, very much. We hope you enjoyed the lunch. We did. Hats off to the chefs and our servers and the folks who helped. And we know that we ran a little long this morning, but we're assured we're going to get back on schedule, and we've got some wiggle room in the schedule. So please stay with us if you can for the day. I'm going to introduce Steve Burm, and Steve is the key assistant to Representative Garrett Bradley, who is the state representative for this particular area of Massachusetts and for Hull in particular. And Representative Bradley has been and continues to be a great friend to innovation in Massachusetts. He has risen through the ranks over the many years to a leadership level in the House of Representatives, and his office has always been very, very helpful to the town of Hull, but also very helpful to larger, broader issues. And I know that he recognizes sustainable energy as a key issue for residents of Massachusetts. So I'm going to turn it over to Steve, who's here on behalf of the representative. Unfortunately, he couldn't make it today, but Steve is standing in his place, and he'll do a very good job as well. So Steve, you're up.
Thank you, Phil. And thank you, everybody, for allowing me to be here today. As Phil said, Rep. Bradley could not be here, but sent me in his place to say a few words. As we all are aware, the town of Hull has been a leader and a model for other communities as they gauge whether or not wind turbines will work in their community. In fact, the town of Hull received the Department of Energy's Wind Power Pioneer Award in recognition for its outstanding leadership in advancing the use of wind power in a coastal community. Because the town has moved towards clean energy, it enjoys some of the lowest electricity costs in the region. When the Green Communities Act was passed in 2008, the legislature looked at Hull and could clearly see how the town has benefited by permitting wind turbines. The Green Communities Act requires Massachusetts utilities to obtain increasing amounts of renewable power and calls for 20% of their supply to be renewable power by 2025. The same law tries to make it easier for renewable projects to get financing by requiring utilities to seek long-term deals with them for at least 3% of their total demand. With Hull's lead in the passage of the Green Communities Act, we are now seeing the first signs and steps towards increasing the Commonwealth's dependency on clean energy. In fact, the Commonwealth's first offshore wind farm opened in Hancock and Lanesborough, towns located in the Berkshires. However, as we all know, wind farms do not come without controversy. Hull too met opposition from neighbors and residents from Hingham. The town did an excellent job with their outreach to concerned citizens by holding public meetings to hear the concerns, and they took that information and held up follow-up meetings so they could address those concerns. One of the biggest issues raised was the fact that Hull 2 would be placed on a capped landfill. The town in turn brought in DEP to explain why the neighbors were not in danger and showed that they had taken the necessary steps to ensure the safety to the community. As we are seeing the first wind farm in the Berkshire become operational, the federal government has given the green light to Cape Wind. After many years of court battles, the offshore wind energy community received news of the approval from the federal government for the construction and operations plan for the Cape Wind project, which will clear the way for work to begin on America's first offshore wind farm as early as this fall. Cape Wind, with their partnership with National Grid, has proposed a 130 wind turbine farm in Nantucket Sound and says that the project will power 200,000 homes in average winds. Supporters of offshore wind are hopeful that the victory by Cape Wind will pave the way for other offshore wind projects to be sited, including in Hull. Moving forward, the town hopes to extend their wind portfolio by permitting several offshore wind turbines. Again, this will be met with questions from the public, boating, and fishing communities. Once again, Hull is showing that it is and wants to continue to be a leader in the production of clean energy. And as they learned before by holding public meetings and by hosting today's offshore wind workshop, the town is moving closer to making offshore wind turbines a reality. Representative Bradley looks forward to working with the town as well as those who have concerns, to hopefully come to a consensus to make offshore wind a reality. Thank you.